Congratulations on getting your new pool. And now that you know how to take care of all of your equipment, I think it's pretty important to let you know how to take care of your water. One of the most probably biggest misconception about pool water is just because it's clear water doesn't make it clean water. And the biggest thing you're going to want to do is, in conjunction with your weekly maintenance on your equipment, is also do a water test with your test strips. By testing the water with your test strips, you can check your chlorine, your pH, your alkalinity, and your calcium hardness. Those are the biggest hurdles to get over as far as maintaining clean pool water. You got to make sure you're getting chlorine to sanitize the water and kill any bacteria. Your pH and alkalinity are how acidic or basic the water is. If those are in range and you have balanced water, that makes for a better environment for bacteria not to grow in your pool. And then also your calcium hardness, which just tells you how soft or how hard your water is. And all of those things are easily adjusted after testing with your test strip. Your chlorine, you're always getting a low dose of chlorine with your frog leap system. So whether your dial is set at 2 or 10, you're going to test with your frog test strips to see where it's at and get yourself in line. If your chlorine is low, boost it up on your go from a 2 to maybe a 4 to get more chlorine. And if you're too high, obviously turn that down, that dial from near 10 to closer to 2. It just depends on your bather load, the weather, just a plethora of circumstances. But the more that you test your water, the more you'll start to realize the trend that your pool follows. So after you test for your chlorine, you look at your pH and your alkalinity. Your pH numbers should be between 7.2 to 7.8. And that makes for the most ideal pool water. Obviously, if we can get it at 7.5 or 7.6, that would be awesome too. But we shoot for between 7.2 to 7.8. And we can adjust your pH with pH increasers or pH decreasers, and both come in your startup kit. So with those, there's minor adjustments that can be made to help your pH. The next thing is alkalinity. Your alkalinity closely follows your pH. Sometimes they do waver, and when they do start to waver like that is when your pool water starts to become out of balance, and you'll notice it could start to turn from clear water to cloudy water to green water really quickly. So we want to get your alkalinity in check as well as your pH. And with alkalinity, there is a chemical that increases alkalinity, but there's not a decreaser for alkalinity. So we use pH decreaser, and it works great. It's just not called alkalinity decreaser. Like it's not as easy as the pH. So there's alkalinity increaser and pH decreaser to adjust alkalinity. And those alkalinity numbers should be between 80 and 150. Just like pH, obviously it's ideal to have it about 100 to 120, but 80 to 150 is still within range. And then last but not least is calcium hardness. Now, soft water is great for your skin, for, we love soft water in our houses, but it's not always good for your pool water because it does not have enough hardness in it. And if you don't have enough hardness, and if your pH and alkalinity are not in check, you can develop corrosiveness in your plumbing and in your pool. So what we need to do is add a little bit of hardness with calcium hardness increaser to the pool to get you between 200 and 400 parts per million. And the corrosiveness in your pool is very easy to avoid. We don't want you to be in that predicament when you have a new pool and new equipment. The last thing we want to do is have you have corrosive water and to have low pH and low alkalinity and cause any kind of damage to your equipment. Your equipment is what runs your pool, and it's the most expensive part of their pool. So we like to protect that. And as a new pool owner, it's an easy adjustment and a lot less headache to just keep on top of it and test weekly. So after you test weekly and you find yourself maybe not being able to adjust enough, that's okay. We can still have you bring in a water test to us. We'll test your water, and we can make more major adjustments by having you bring it into the store and have us professionally test it.